Welcome back to MVM. Today I have Construction Fever from Ninja Star Games. This is a Kickstarter prototype that I want to show off for you today, and is live on Kickstarter right now. In Construction Fever, up to 5 players are going to take on the role of construction companies battling for production. And this is going to be done with 2 separate decks of cards that you're going to be bidding over throughout the course of the game. This is primarily a bidding game with a slight worker placement style element. And you're going to see the game already set up here in front of me and ready to go. Each player is going to get a player board, and you're going to see an example player board here. It's going to show places to hold all of your workers. And that's what this player board primarily does, is it houses your workers and shows you where to place cards along the outer edges, and we'll talk about how you can get those cards here in a second. But everyone's going to take this, collect their meeples, place their meeples in front of them, and then you're kind of actually ready to start the game. The game itself is played over a series of rounds and a certain number of phases. You're going to deal out at the start of the game 10 cards into both the black energy and green energy decks, and you're going to remove the rest of those cards from the game. This is your timer. You're going to play through 10 rounds with each of these cards coming up for bid. These cards are a little different in nature, and you'll see kind of a black energy card and a green energy card here in front of me. And they do look very different, but what they have on them are basically instructions on how to bid for these cards. And we'll talk about the bidding phase in a moment. But the first thing you're going to do every round to set up is flip over the top card of each of these decks, and you will see I've done that already here. These are the 2 cards that are going to be up for grabs this round. We're going to be bidding on these to control these energy sources. When a black energy card comes out, you're going to see a few things printed on it. One thing is this number of credits that you're going to place in front of it. You're going to look in the credit pool and place that many credits, in this case 10 credits, and these become the amount that this card is worth. In addition, you're going to see a few things. You're going to see a number here representing how many workers you have to spend to take that card, and a number down here that shows you a reputation value. You're also going to see that reputation value on the green energy cards, because the goal of the game is to collect reputation. These green cards are going to increase your reputation, while the black ones will decrease it, but will give you money, which you want to become a profitable corporation. So the line to walk is the balance between having that reputation and having the most money. So during the setup, we'll flip these over, and then we'll move on to the rest phase. I'm going to skip the rest phase for right now because it's not going to make a lot of sense to you. And I'm going to jump right into the bidding phase. You're going to determine a first player, and in player order, everyone is going to get a chance to take an action. And this is going to go until everyone passes. Even if you pass, you can actually jump back into the round later, but once everyone has passed, the round is over. And on your turn, you're bidding. Either you're going to bid on the black project here, the green project here, or you're going to pass. And the way bidding works on these is very different. To bid on the green project, you simply take a number of meeples from your worker pool in front of you, and you decide to bid them by putting them out in front of you. For example, I, as the red player, can say, I bid 2 meeples on the green project. If I place these in front of me, I would take the green project token and place it with the meeples to show that I am currently the winner of that project. If somebody else wants to take this project from me, they're going to have to bid at least 3 meeples on their turn, which they could do. If that happens, my bid is canceled, my workers just come back to hang out, and this token will go to whoever bid the 3 meeples to take it. That's the green corporation. It's very simple. The black projects are a little more complicated. First of all, to bid on them, you have to take a certain number of value of credits off of that project and shift them over to the green project. You're making that green project more valuable while simultaneously making the black project less valuable. But when you do that, say I've made a bid of 3, I get to take that black project token and put it in front of me. Now, each of these black projects is going to have a number, and that is the number of meeples you must spend to take this project. So not only do I have to spend that money, I have to take 2 of my workers and place them off here to show that I am currently the winner of that black project. And now these 2 things are happening simultaneously. So when it goes on to the next player, they can look and see, oh, I just put a bunch of money into the green project. Now that green project is more valuable. They might decide to bid more workers, potentially all of their workers to take it from yellow and get that money. Now, there are reasons why you don't want to spend all your workers that I'll talk about in a second, but the gameplay is going to continue around with everyone bidding on these, so eventually you'll end up with something like this where you have $5 on the green project, $5 on the black project, and 2 different players are going to have control of those. After the phase ends, you're going to take the projects you've won. The red player will take the black project, they'll return the token to the pool, and they will take the money generated by that. They'll take the project that's itself and they'll place it up at the top of their board. They're going to take their 2 workers and place it on there. They have been spent already to take that card. Then you're going to do the same thing with the green project. You're going to give it to the player. In this case, the yellow player is going to take the credits they would have won. They're going to return this to the bank and they're going to take the green project. Now, these green projects are a little different, and that gets us to the next phase, which is called development. The green projects need to be developed, and you're going to be looking at your neighbors to help develop them. The yellow player has won this card, so both the red and black players are going to have a chance to develop it. And this is a blind bid. You take all the meeples you have left, you secretly choose a certain number, put them in your hand, and reveal them. So between red and black, whoever reveals the most of these meeples, they're going to get this green project. So in this case, if red bid 3 and black did not, red will get the project, and it's going to be placed between yellow and red, as you see here. And what this means is that both red and yellow are going to score these points at the end of the game. But red is going to have to take the meeples they bid and place them here, and yellow is going to have to do the same thing and place their meeples there. These meeples are now spent. They are out of your pool. You've earned some money, you've earned some reputation, but you don't get those meeples back right away. The next thing that's going to happen is your workers are going to return from rest. Now, I skipped the rest phase earlier because it didn't quite make sense, but I will talk about the rest phase now. At the beginning of your turn, the first thing you're actually going to be able to do is rest. And you remember I skipped that because I didn't have this set up for you to understand it. But now if you look, you'll see that your meeples are out on the board. They are not here available for you. So at the beginning of the round, you're going to be able to take 1 meeple from your black project above you and 1 meeple from each of your side projects. So I only have 1 side project. I can only take 1 red meeple and place it here. Yellow would be able to do the same. Now, if I would have had 2, 1 on either side, I could have taken both, but I'm not going to be able to do that, so I'm not going to be able to maximize my return of workers. These workers are not available to bid the round they come back. But at the end of the round, the last thing you do is return those workers. So if I had bid last round and set this up to rest, these guys are going to come back down and be available for me to use next round. So that is a full round of the game. After that, you're going to pass the first player marker around. You're going to flip over new projects. And you're going to set out the money and do the same round over again with a new first player. You're going to be handing these out like normal, and different players are going to end up with these projects in front of them. You're going to do this 10 times for each card in both of these decks. By the end of the game, everyone is going to have a tableau of cards in front of them. When the game ends, it's time to determine who is the winner. Now, I had talked about these cards having a reputation value, and I mentioned that all of the black cards that sit in top of your tableau have a negative value, and all the cards that sit on either side of you have a positive value. So you're going to add up all of those positive cards, subtract the negative cards, and that is your reputation. You don't need to have the highest reputation, actually. But what you need to have is not the lowest, because at the very end of the game, the player with the lowest reputation is going to be eliminated. After that, you're going to determine how much money you have left, and the player that has the most money left is going to win the game. Now, there's one more thing I want to mention with that. If you look at this player board, if you remember at the beginning of the game, these meeples have stars or money icons underneath them. So at the very end of the game, if you have managed to pull a lot of your workers back and you still have a ton of workers available here, you're going to get reputation and points at the end of the game. So that's going to add into your total. So the person with the lowest reputation is going to be knocked out, like I said. So you can't just bid on these black projects and accrue a ton of money, because you're going to get knocked out of the game if you do that. Conversely, you can't just bid on green projects and ignore those black projects, because then you're not going to have any money. It doesn't matter that you weren't kicked out. You still have to have the most money in the game. So the strategy here is walking that fine line between these two different styles of bidding and between these two different projects. So that is Construction Fever. Like I said, it's on Kickstarter right now. So go take a look at their Kickstarter page, come back here, ask any questions, leave any comments, talk to us about the game. And thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, and following what we do here. And I will see you next time.